Honorable Otto, legally, is it possible for this administration of parliament law be amended without running into a constitutional crisis?
Yes, actually it is going to be amended. What Gimara is doing is legally right. They have given notice to the speaker. They are following the right procedure. But the question is it right? The procedure is okay. Is it right? Not everything in this world can be sorted out by law. For example, we legally, not we, for me I did not, Parliament legally removed presidential term limits. Was it a good thing? Parliament again removed age limits. That someone over 75 years is young, he can still lead. Was it a good thing? Because when you are 75, you have about 15 to 20 years on this planet before you go to heaven. So you want someone who is 75 years to be in charge of the future of someone who is 2 years. So they can do what they want. The only thing this parliament cannot do is to change a man into a woman and a woman into a man. So with this direction I'm seeing, in less than 2 weeks, Senyonyi would be the former leader of opposition.
Can the law act or play out retrospectively?
Yes. When we passed the Parliamentary Elections Act, we said for the purpose of this law, it will work retrospectively. They will state it specifically inside there. So unless
so if it is included in there as a clause,
yeah,
it can act retrospectively.
Yes, it is like, for example, the Parliamentary Pensions Act. When we passed the law in 2006, then we said for the purpose of application, the application of this law shall begin in 2001. So the direction, you see, much as we are not comfortable with what the Namaras are doing, they are doing what is legally acceptable. But the issue is it right? Legitimacy. Is it legitimate? I think that is where the $1 million question is. But even Canary, I think also let's spend some 2 minutes to analyze the conduct of leaders of opposition. I was in parliament when Professor Latigo was leader of opposition. I was in parliament when Winnie Kiza was leader of opposition. I was in parliament when Nandala Mafabi was leader of opposition. I was in parliament when Wafula Ogutu was leader of opposition.
And Betty Awolo-Chan.
And Betty Awolo-Chan was leader of opposition. So it boils down to diplomacy. You go to Kololo, in the second sitting of parliament, before parliament has done anything, the only thing parliament has done is to elect speaker of parliament. You go to Kololo, before even any debate, any topic, State of Nation address, the president is coming to talk to parliament, the entire opposition is seated down. Of course, they are saying human rights. I think they are saying human rights. I don't know why. On the first sitting, before even the debate starts, it's like, so you should ask yourself, what happened during the time of Nandala? During the time of Professor Latigo, we would engage them in the house. Say, why have you arrested Lukwago? Why are you arresting National Unity Platform supporters? We need a response from the minister. You'll see the Speaker of Parliament saying, the minister will give you 1 week to give a comprehensive what? Statement. And then when the minister brings a statement, at times you find they have released certain people. In the process, we solve problem. And if the minister refuses to bring a statement, we walk out of Parliament. Like for 10 days, say, we are not coming back to Parliament until the Minister of Internal Affairs can explain this, until the Minister of Justice can explain this. There is a process before you resort to boycott and strikes. Now, to see members of National Unity Platform or the opposition seated before any debate has even started, when the president is coming to address Parliament in State of Nation, you have not even heard what he's saying, you are already protesting. That is very unique. It's like before you have even slaughtered a hen, you say, oh, the leg will be mine. That is a high level of greed and lack of manners. So you see that conduct. And then, my good friend Senyonyi, journalist and politician, his altercations with the CDF, because now this is about personal egos. Because when you are communicating as a leader of opposition, you communicate through a formal statement. You write to the Minister of Defense, we need an explanation why soldiers arresting people cover their faces like they are going to harvest honey in the daytime. We need a response. But you just don't get your tweet and start abusing Muhoozi. Because Muhoozi will also reply. So the law of action and reaction, then they'll say, okay, you're abusing the son of the president and you're moving around with police escorts. We are going to remove that vehicle. We are going to remove you from that office. We are going to teach you a lesson. And they will teach him a lesson. And you go to Kalangala for campaigning for a presidential candidate, all the ferries, for parliamentary candidate, all the ferries are not there. A whole leader of opposition. And you are just with the lead vehicle. That they should clear the way for you. And you reach the ferry is not there. And you are just there. So I think also the culture, the man and Senyonyi has conducted himself.
What do you expect him to do if the official channels fail?
You're right. There is a lot of stationery in Nasa Road. You write for posterity. You write a letter down that I need an explanation for the record. You don't get a tweet and then you start abusing the army commander, because it's a complex scenario. I don't know. Many people don't understand what I'm saying. Me, Otto, I cannot come on this TV and just and just start abusing Muhoozi. He can also abuse me, and he may have more power than me. You just don't abuse people on public matters. You try to formalize. You even try to write a letter that I want to meet you, the army commander, over tea, over coffee. Please give me a venue. There are some issues we want to raise as members of opposition to you. But in Uganda, when they even see you in a meeting with Museveni, with President Museveni, with Bobby Wine, they say, with Muhoozi, he has been bought. He has been bought.
Actually, maybe just we went to Ghana, and one of the reasons Ghana has had this peaceful transfer of power from one government to another. I'm trying to buttress Honorable Dongo's point. One of the leaders we got was called, became a good friend of mine, an old man. Whenever Jerry Rawlings would carry out a coup in Ghana, that man would be appointed prime minister, because Jerry Rawlings did not know anything about running a government. But this fellow was made prime minister because he had been in government for a long time. I forget his name. Even became, because he saw I was so young, then he became my friend. One of the things that Honorable Dongoto is saying that helps in such an environment is that approach, that you informally talk to some of these people. You call them for a cup of tea before you engage them publicly, because you have to be strategic the way you deal with some of the people that have power. You don't just engage as if you're in an unpolished manner with somebody who has the monopoly of violence, power. Engage them. And this old man told us that, you see, both the opposition and those who are in government are working for the interests of the citizens. And because they are working for the interests of the citizens, you must have an approach that, yes, tickles them into doing the right thing, but also leaves room for you to informally engage. And that's the reason why we created iPod. The purpose of iPod was to remove this suspicion. And actually in Ghana, one of the things that led to the decrease of violence, electoral violence, was that the leader of opposition and the president of the country during campaigns would be at the same platforms, and they would argue their points. So if the persons who are contesting for power are making their points at the same venue, who are you at the lower level to hit somebody, to box somebody because they are not in yellow, or they are not in red, or they are not in green? And that cooled down the tensions in Ghana. Because the issue is that both of you are aiming to shoot in the same direction, but with different ways of how to shoot in the same direction, because you're all working for the interests of Ugandans. And that's why we brought iPod here. The purpose of iPod was to enable drinks be available, coffee be available, photo moments, to show the people down there.
The platform does not even attend.
To show the people down there that we are doing the same purpose. We're doing the role we're playing is yours. I mean, we're serving you, but we have opposed views of how we should serve you. That does not amount to then us boxing ourselves, abducting ourselves. We should be able to engage so that Ugandans benefit. And Honorable Dongoto's idea that before, as a leader, you engage publicly into insults with somebody who is more powerful, you better then informally consult them, or if they are not able to allow a meeting, then you put what you want to say on the record.
There's a fear of being co-opted or compromised.
No.
Or being misunderstood by your electorates.
No, and that's what the intention of iPod was, that the person who is in opposition and the person who is in government are not enemies.
Yes.
They just have different views on how we should organize our country. It's just different views. So they're not enemies. And that's why iPod is there, to enable these photo opportunities, to enable, show the country that actually these leaders are not enemies. These leaders only have different views on how Uganda should be efficiently run.
Right. The intentions, Honorable Otto, the intentions of PLU, wanting to control each and every space. What exactly do you think is behind this grid?
Canary, PLU. By the way, what's the legal status of PLU? Maybe you advise me, you have been in these things. What is it? Is it a lion? Is it a carnivore? Legally, is it a political party?
Legally, it's a
is it an NGO? Pardon?
Legally, it's a civic organization, making it an NGO under
where has it been registered?
Under USB.
So the name has been, it has been registered as a what? As a partnership, a what?
As an NGO.
So PLU is an NGO.
Yes.
Now there is a law which says NGOs should not be involved in political
activities.
In partisan activities. The NGO Act regulates it. I'm not very sure whether PLU is an NGO. It could just probably be a pressure group, like Reform Agenda, like this thing which was there before. No, what was it?
People Power.
People Power. I think it's just a pressure group. Be it as may. You know, it is a very risky business these days to talk about PLU. It's a very risky business. Actually, it is even safer to go and pick to pick phones in Kikubo than to come on a TV and talk about PLU. It's a very risky business. Actually, it is not advisable. That is not how anyone should spend their weekend, because the leader of PLU, General Muhoozi, is a very dangerous man.
I saw him respond to you.
No, he's a commander of armed forces. He has a lot of power. Whatever he wants done is done. He does it. For example, he has ordered all the contractors that all the money for roads of KCCA should be taken to him. Actually, in my previous discussion here, I said President Museveni should have appointed General Muhoozi Minister of Works, because you see results. As I was coming to the show here, I crossed through Bukoto here in front of Sudei's school there. It's tarmac. Immediately. The armies even work at night using torches, using headlamps. You go to NASA industrial area, there is a road. I saw that. I've been to Ghana. That road where, if you're going to Akasombo Dam, that part of the road which was concrete, which President Kwame Nkrumah did 50 years ago, and the donors said, we don't want this road, it's very expensive for Ghana. But after 50 years, that road Kwame Nkrumah did is about 10 kilometers at most. It's still there. But the ones which the donors want of the tarmac road has collapsed. Muhoozi did this road in industrial area. There is a road of complete concrete from the beginning to the end. We have heard Mayor Sebagala, Sebana Kizito, who those roads, they were constant potholes. There are even potholes there that we should probably call Lake Lukwago. But they are now not there. So, I'm not heaping praises. I'm saying there are areas where you can see tangible benefits, even in fighting corruption. But now, there are other areas where PLU is not doing well. Actually, PLU should even register as a political party and concentrate on roads, infrastructure, housing, and corruption.
As a political party.
As a political party. But on the issues of human rights, rule of law, you talk and they just pick you. No charge. Now, my good friend Arias Lokwaga was in Luzira with him. It's now a capital offense. You may be remanded for 1 year before you appear in court.
But you have the courage to talk.
You see, for me, I work for God. I don't work for human beings. And the only thing I pray to God that it should help me to know what would kill me, so that if there is a bomb blast behind here, I say, oh, it is not the one. God had already told me, you know. But the fact is, PLU is doing wrong things every week. It looks like the PLU has made a commitment to do one wrong thing every week. I can even count the few things which they have done. Now they're doing the latest wrong thing. They want to elect the leader of opposition. We are not yet breathing. The other day, PLU is there removing Anita. The other day, PLU is installing 2 speakers, the Speaker of Parliament and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
What is at risk here when you have a pressure group interfering in the politics of the country and having so much influence more than political parties?
The problem is Article 211, 214, 215 of the Constitution. The Constitution says the Uganda People's Defense Forces shall be a professional, non-partisan or authority, subject to civilian authority. Subject to civilian authority, beneath civilian authority. I went to Bombo when President Museveni was resigning from the armed forces. I was there. There was a 21 gun salute. Bim! Bim! I was there. President Museveni himself had to resign from the army in order to become a civilian leader. President Museveni in Bombo here. He resigned from the army. He is now a retired general. Of course, the other time we were raising the issue in Parliament that he's retired, but the way he dresses, the way you see the way he dresses is like he's still an active soldier. But President Museveni retired from the armed forces. So the challenge with PLU, you have those who are in active service of the military getting involved in partisan politics. This is a constitutional crisis that every Ugandan should be talking about. You can see PLU summoning cabinet ministers for their function, and the ministers come in the function and say, I am PLU. You know, Canary, I talk a lot, but I'm very intelligent. Listen to this. In 2031, you'll see more people supporting President Museveni and running away from PLU. Because there is a general fear that the orange has fallen far from the tree. The orange should always fall under the tree. People you get it, but the orange has fallen away from the tree. So for now, the only person that can stop PLU, the only person that can stop PLU from getting to state power for now is only Museveni. So people will say we'd rather die with Museveni than go into that risky business.
Doesn't his silence in one or another approve of what PLU is doing?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. The other time I called switchboard of State House. I told them I wanted to talk to the president. I called. I have the switchboard number. I said I want to talk to the president. And they said they would call me back. Up to today, I've been waiting. I want to ask the same question you have asked me.
You've been charging the phone.
Yeah, I've been charging the phone. I even bought a phone with 7,000 people. Every call now I have to ask her. Maybe it is the other call from the president. Every call, even those I am avoiding. So we should ask that same question. But generally, Ugandans are so scared about PLU. Ugandans are scared about General Muhoozi. People have laid back. And people would say, we'd rather die with Museveni if this is the nature of the transition. So you may see a wave of more people again encouraging President Museveni to stand than saying the transition should start. For me, I'm just a thinker and I stay in Namasoba. Those looking for me, that is where I stay and that's where I live. I have only one house in Kampala, like the house of a hand. You'll find me there.